Asaph continues his historical account by describing God's deliberate rejection of one tribe and his sovereign choice of another. Moreover, he refused the tabernacle of Joseph and chose not the tribe of Ephraim. Psalm 78, verse 67. God refused the tabernacle of Joseph, meaning he rejected Ephraim's claim to leadership. Ephraim descended from Joseph and held prominence among the northern tribes. Shiloh, where the tabernacle stood, was in Ephraimite territory. When God abandoned Shiloh, he rejected Ephraim's position as the center of worship. This refusal was permanent. God chose not to establish his dwelling or his kingdom through Ephraim, despite their strength and numbers, but chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion which he loved. Psalm 78, verse 68. God chose Judah instead. He selected Mount Zion, in Judah's territory, as his dwelling place. The word loved reveals divine affection, not mere selection. God loved Zion and established his presence there. This choice fulfilled Jacob's prophecy in Genesis 49, verse 10, that the scepter would not depart from Judah. God's rejection of Ephraim and selection of Judah was not arbitrary, but rooted in his sovereign purpose. Jerusalem, not Shiloh, would become the city of God, and he built his sanctuary like high palaces, like the earth which he hath established forever. Psalm 78, verse 69. God built his sanctuary on Mount Zion. He constructed it like high palaces, meaning with permanence and glory exceeding temporary structures. While the tabernacle at Shiloh was temporary and portable, the sanctuary in Zion endured. Solomon later built the temple on this site, creating a structure meant to stand as long as the earth itself. God's choice of Zion carried permanence that his presence at Shiloh never did. He chose David, also his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds. Psalm 78, verse 70. God took David from the sheepfolds where David tended his father's sheep in Bethlehem. David was the youngest son, overlooked by his own father, when Samuel came to anoint Israel's next king. God bypassed Saul from the tribe of Benjamin and all of David's older brothers to select a shepherd boy. This choice shows God's pattern of elevating the lowly and passing over the seemingly qualified. From following the ewes great with young, he brought him to feed Jacob his people and Israel his inheritance. Psalm 78, verse 71. God brought David from following pregnant ewes to shepherding Israel. David's experience caring for vulnerable sheep prepared him to lead God's people. The transition from sheep to the nation is deliberate. Jacob and Israel are parallel terms for the same people, emphasizing both their covenant identity and their belonging to God. God calls Israel his inheritance, meaning they are his treasured possession. David's qualification for kingship came not from military training or royal lineage, but from faithful shepherding of his father's flock. So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart and guided them by the skillfulness of his hands. Psalm 78, verse 72. David fed Israel according to the integrity of his heart. His leadership flowed from internal character, not external performance. The integrity of his heart refers to his undivided devotion to God and genuine care for God's people. David guided them by the skillfulness of his hands, meaning he led with competence, developed through years of shepherding. The hands that killed lions and bears protecting sheep now protected Israel from enemies. The hands that played the harp to soothe Saul's torment now guided the nation. Asaph concludes Psalm 78 by showing God's sovereign choices. He rejected Ephraim and chose Judah. He abandoned Shiloh and loved Zion. and God passed over the prominent and selected a shepherd. These choices reveal God's freedom to act according to his purposes, rather than human expectations. David's rise from sheepfold to throne shows that God qualifies the one whom he calls. The psalm ends with David shepherding Israel, establishing the line through which the ultimate shepherd king would come.